Hello, this is Eric Redjet 505. So what we got here today is my Triumph Bonneville. I got a couple Triumph in the auction that they all crashed, and I already started pulling some of the dent, and I wanted to show you if what you buy at Harbor Freight or Amazon or eBay or is seen on TV really work to pull the dent. So I already started and I pulled this a little bit, and it was much deeper. What happened, the steering hit this really bad and damaged everything. Now I wanted to show how to do that. What I'm using right now, it's two different systems. One is this is kind of as seen on TV product, and what it does, you just put here some of the hot glue, put it into place, then you put the bridge on top of it after it's dry, and you put the knob over here and you turn it, and then it's initially pulling the dent out. But it's not really working that easy. You're gonna have to repeat this thing hundreds of times in order for it to pull out, but at the same time you're not damaging the paint. Here the paint is already damaged, and I'm doing this just to make this video. Usually the professional way to do that, actually I'm gonna grind the paint off and I'm gonna weld into this couple nails, and there's a special copper nails for bodywork, and I will pull it out. But let's play along with this and see how this thing gonna work, because if you have a small dent it will work perfect. This is pretty thick metal, it will be very hard to pull, but it is pulling it. At the same time, the same thing that I'm showing right now on a motorcycle can be applied on a car. On a car, when the skin, the metal is thinner, it will work much easier. So stay tuned, watch the entire video. I'm trying not to edit anything out, so you see all the frustration and what's going on with it, so you know how the system works. A lot of you guys that want to see video that's running fast can miss the important part where everything fail and everything get messed up. So let's start. So I have first this thing. This is a little bit bigger than the holes that I have here, but I'm gonna teach you a trick. Usually they will tell you to use a smaller part, such as one of those that fit right in. I rather use the big one, because what happens is when you use the hot glue, it will warp and fit right into the shape of the damaged area. So let's start with this. And you get this big glue gun. I just changed the color. I was using earlier the white one, now I'm using the black one. It's different temperature, so let's start. What you do first, put some glue, don't put too much, and then press it as hard as you can into the damaged area. You have to put a lot of pressure on it. If you don't do that, it just creates air bubble, and this is where it's going to disconnect you. Okay, so we're going to do one by one. Earlier I did another video that I was filming two at the same time. It's easy to do when you do a couple of them, but I want to show one by one. So let's do this real quick. Okay, this is the first one. I'm gonna let it rest for a second. It's still cooling now. It's very cold outside right now. It's probably about 60 degrees or so. And you're in mid-country, people say, oh, cold, what he's talking about, but it's California. It's usually like 80, 90 degrees over here. Okay, now, what I like to do also is put pressure on it, and put the pull-up tool on top of it, and press with it a little bit. It's easier to press on the piece of plastic than try to press directly on the screw. Okay, see, like it's set up good. Now you have this thing. This can change the angles because here we have a curve, or if it's straight, make sure you put it on the right area. Now if you're gonna put this on a car and there is a dent here and then a curve, you will damage the car. Do not use it. You have to try to pull it without putting any pressure on the two round sides. On a motorcycle, it's so thick, it's not really matter. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set this thing here. I'm trying to set it as straight as possible. Okay, now it's applying pressure left and right to the dent. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the tool. Okay, now it's just sitting right now, holding itself. Now here is the tricky part. When you start pulling it, sometimes it will try to pop itself out because the glue is not ready yet. So when you turn it slowly, and then when you start getting hard, then you have to put some power. If you're going to try to force it from the beginning, you're just going to tear up the glue. I'm assuming that this is already like ready, but let's see. When we start turning it, I'm going to stop talking so you can hear the pop. That's it. This was our pop. When you hear this pop, it's first in your glue. It got disconnected from the space. Also, it just pulls some of the dent out. The noise that you hear is the metal kind of like getting pulled out. Now you got a problem that you have some glue here that is stuck and really hard to pull with your nails. So what you do for that, you're using 100% alcohol, or 91 is the highest one you probably find in a pharmacy in California. You have to spray, let it soak for a second, and it's gonna start building inside, and then it's gonna start peel. And if nothing happened, after you do that, you have to wipe it really well. If you're not gonna wipe it, you see it's getting pulled out. I'm gonna put some more underneath and let it soak in, and then it just pull up like a gum. But the idea is that you have enough of the alcohol. It's a rubbing alcohol compound, and then it just come right out. This is the glue. Okay, now we're going to clean the area again. I just want to show how deep it is, but we pull a lot right now. I assume that another 2 or 3 pulls and this will get completely kind of outside. I'm going to do those. I'm going to forget about this one for now. I'm going to do only that just to show for the video. At this point, you can stay if you're interested to see how it's done. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or you can just run it to the end of the video. But I'm trying to see on real time what it takes to fix those dents. I have another tool that is a little bit smaller that I'm going to use now. The only reason that I'm using the smaller tool right now, at the time that I'm going to clean the big one, I want the small one to work. So I'm just going to put some material, shove it in over here. Put some pressure, good amount of pressure on it. Now I try another system that I'm going to show later that came from Amazon that don't work at all. It's like a stupid system with a hammer. Look like that. This don't work. Do not buy it. It's not worth the 40 bucks. Now, while this is drying, okay, I'm going to go and talk about this. You take the knob back out. Then if you look at your glue puller, you're going to see that there is a center hole in it. Make sure that this is clean. You should spray on this a little bit with rubbing alcohol. Let it soak for a second. If it's not going to soak, it's not going to work at all. And then wipe it clean. I know it sounds like you need to get this thing rough in order to grab anything, but it's the other way around. As smooth as this, it's gonna grab the parts much better. Now let's see, this is already running and it should be dry by now. It is. And let's try it again. We're gonna do them back to back. This is why I'm using 2 different pulley systems. Now, it's very important that this is gonna be straight and parallel to the dent. You don't want it in an angle. If it's going to be in an angle, you're just going to pull the part in a diagonal, and it's not going to pull anything. It's just going to pull the glue away. Okay? Let's be quiet again so we can hear how it's pop. I don't think it's going to pop because it's small, but let's try still. Ah, it did pop, and actually it's popping really good outside right now. it's, oh wow, it's popping much more. Let's go over again, so we're saving time here. So I think that this video will take about 20 minutes to show how I'm fixing this one dent. Make sure that your sprayer is full. I was getting a little bit lazy. And it's okay if you have rubbing alcohol going all over the place, because it's just going to vaporize. It's not going to cause any damage. Now you can peel it also with a scraper. So what you do, just going to go with a scraper, find a corner and go under the corner, and you can just start lifting it. But look, it looks like a big booger. Anyway, we got some more left here in the center. Okay. Okay, you can see already that these dents got pulled a lot. This is very significant. I'm going to pull it one more time with a bigger knob. Let's do this again. You can see how boiling this thing is. And again, this is how I do that. I'm sure that other people have a different way to do that. This is just a demonstration. I am a professional airbrush artist and bodywork person, so I know how to do those things the real way. This is just to show you how to do that at home, so you don't have to deal with chemical paint and other problems that probably prohibited in your area. Okay, and again, you see, it's a good matter to be efficient. So while you put in one to dry, you're already going to clean the other one. So you go one in, one out. And by the way, you see how I put right now on top of the motorcycle this thing, this arch, and I'm trying to make it like both parts to be straight, because this is the same way that you're going to pull the dent. So if you don't make sure that it will be straight and you're going to be a little bit crooked, it will not pull anything. Now there is another video that you can find on YouTube, some British guy, I don't remember his channel, but he's a complete expert. He shows everything in the most amazing way, so you should look for it for dent pulling, and look for a British guy. He's doing amazing work. Not because of his accent, he's actually know what he's doing. Okay, again, we're going back here. And there, shh, quiet. This was quick, and yeah, it's pulled it much more. And we're gonna go and do it again. Now, you can try to put another layer of glue. Actually, let's do it right now. Let's try to put another layer of glue on the existing glue. I want to show you guys what will happen. Instead of peeling this thing out right now, I'm just gonna build out another glue. And when you press it in, actually one glue will melt the one underneath it. And then we're gonna have a big mess over here when we're done. But I want you guys to see that. Okay, so you can see first that it's pour some glue out of the bottom over here. If I move your hand, you can see here there's some glue got poured out. You have to wait until this glue dry. If I touch it, it's pulling like those wires. It means that this is not dry, it's not ready to pull. To pull it from your hand, just pull it away, it will come all right off. Push it more. Okay, and while this is drying, again, I'm gonna go and inspect my other piece. for later. It's clean, so it's ready. We pull this one, we're gonna add this one back in. Okay, this is dried. Now when you do that, there is a crown that built right here. This crown gonna need to get pushed back in. To do that, there is a tool that looks like that you just take, and you take a hammer and you just tap it gently, and you can do this by hand also. And what it does is just push the crown around in. Okay, quiet time. Okay, so he did pull a little bit. He left a big mess over there, a huge mess, but now we have to deal with the bigger parts that we need to remove over here. So when you have the thinner layer, it's much easier to clean. Now I have a massive amount of material here, so I need to soak it completely. And when you spray it is not enough, you have to peel one of the areas. As soon as you peel a piece, and alcohol get underneath it, that's it, it's gonna start coming off. Now there is other solution to pull the glues that you can buy that work much better. See, I'm just gonna soak it, give it a second, just pull it a little bit and let it soak again, pull it a little bit, let it soak itself in, put it a little bit, and look how nice it came out. Now I want to show you guys something. So far it looks like nothing is moving, but look, we reduced this thing dramatically right now. I'm gonna go back again with the big part. It seems to be that the bigger dent puller worked the best. Even though it's bigger than the area that it needs to pull, it's pulling pretty good. Now I'm still running on the clear glue, and now it starts changing to the black that supposedly is a little bit stronger. Now when you do this, you have to be, again, very patient, very patient. Put some music in the background. Put yourself a clock in front of you so you can time yourself. You need to give it 2-3 minutes each time you're applying this material to cure down and dry. If not, it's just gonna come out like look like a spaghetti. Now let's do 2 at the same time. I'm gonna pull another dent here when we're done. So this dent used to be one big dent, and now it's divided to 2 small ones. I'm gonna try to pull it on the second pull. And what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to stop the video after those 2. I'm going to finish pulling everything out, and then I'm going to show you guys the result as soon as everything is done, so you don't see me repeating everything.